Hey, my final check-in for Seneca's Medea, written in 50, around somewhere 50 CE, by the Roman philosopher and playwright Seneca the Younger. We've seen Medea get kicked to the curb, um, perhaps by the father-in-law, King Creon, but with the complicity of her husband Jason, whom she's had two kids with, and whom she's given up her entire life for, killed her baby brother for, um, has committed tons of just crimes, has ended up killing Jason's evil kind of usurping uncle, and has been branded wanton, evil, just, terrible. And after 10 years where they're closing in on her, Creon's like to Jason, it's like, you have to cut her loose or else you will be guilty too. And this is the way that you can do it so that all the guilt falls on Medea. But what happens is that Medea's like, does not take this lying down. And the play is basically a build up to when is the vengeance going to happen, and the vengeance, which is characterized as like a force of nature, which she has her final discussion with Jason in Act 3, and Act 4 is basically girding herself up, kind of arguing herself into it. She does like argue with herself about this, like, should I do this? Can I do this? But she does flip. I mean, I think there's that whole thing of the idea of a soliloquy showing the thought process of someone, and Medea is like a force of nature, but there's some sort of psychology there, some drama that way. And she sends the poison dress and the poison crown to Creon and his daughter, who he is going to marry to Jason, and basically sets the entire, through all her arts, very much reminding me of like the Tempest, uses her arts to basically set Corinth on fire, and has her two sons, slays one son, unspeaking, and says, okay, we're going to go to the roof because we have to, this needs to be a public thing. They must know my thing. And indeed, Jason arrives with a crowd to say, hey, let's, burn her down. Let's do this. And she says, hey, I'm a virgin once again. And he begs for the life of his final son, which is like, he does everything. And she says, no, one son maybe bounce things, but I'm here for vengeance, unlimited vengeance which far outstrips the crimes that you've committed against me. And he says, well then, so hilarious. He's like, well, then do it quickly because, the weight is killing me, which is like, Jason, shut up. So she's like, oh, well, then I should do it slowly because you're such a fucking moron. You keep on laying down all the steps. Like, oh, don't kill my sons because that would really hurt me. It's like, so she's obviously going to kill his sons. And now it's like, oh, don't do it slowly because that would really hurt me. And in the end, she actually says, well, mercy, and cuts his throat and throws the bodies down to him. And then summons a dragon dragon chariot dragon pulled chariot to carry her away, with Jason crying after her. It's like, yeah, go hence, but wherever you go, there will be no gods. It won't be heaven. Which is like, wow, okay. Really, I really enjoyed the translation. This is like a 1907 translation, but apparently it's one that went into the Loeb Latin Library. The guy is like a major Latinist of his time. If maybe a little on the 19th century stodgy, but actually I found it fairly kind of peppy. Probably tapping into all my Shakespeare likes at the moment. So I really enjoyed that. Um, it definitely, I could, you could definitely see how you would go from this to the Jacobeans, to the revenge plays of Shakespeare's time, and indeed Thais or something like that. Has a very plot that's got some very similar aspects to it of someone butchering people's children and then feeding them to them, which reminds me of that's very much Titus Andronicus. So, yeah, that was a really interesting play to read through, and had a lot of verve to it. So I was expecting kind of stodgy academic stuff, but no, no, that felt powerful. I could feel kind of rage of Medea there, and the dough-headedness of Jason, of this hero who's used this woman to do all his heroic acts, but now that the guilt is coming down, he's trying to cast her off. Um, yeah, yeah, definitely. And as I said, like a kind of a Glenn Close thing of boiling the bunnies, but with your wife being the one that you're doing down, which is interesting. So yeah, that is Medea. I'll maybe try and do a coherent review of it to put up for pre-ShakeTube. That would be good. That would be fun. All right, more videos later.